Welcome to the Thrive 25 in 5 podcast, where we provide a quick win to optimize your health and longevity in just 5 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Ryan Schneider, and today we're ending our week of core supplements with Omega-3. Did you know humans took over the world thanks to Omega-3? Okay, that might be a little bit of a stretch. But many studies and theories do suggest it played a significant role on why our ancestors from East Africa evolved into modern humans and became the dominant species, when it really wasn't apparent that they had any evolutionary advantage over competing hominins. The theory goes that when humans made their way to water, the new diet of fish led to a massive increase in brain size and complexity. You see, our brains are actually 70% fat, and nearly 2/3 of that fat is DHA, an omega-3 fatty acid. And it could be why studies show that our hippocampus, which controls memory and mood, is healthiest in people with the highest levels of omega-3. Another study suggests that people with high levels of DHA are 49% less likely to develop Alzheimer's disease. Now, even if this relationship isn't that strong, it's still enough to get us to eat more fish and maybe take a supplement. Now, some other benefits of omega-3, it seems to lower our blood pressure, the number one risk factor for heart disease, and it reduces our cortisol levels, which I think all of us could use in our days of chronic stress. And finally, there's even a study out of Harvard that found low levels of omega-3 are actually one of the highest causes of preventable deaths. So what do? We need to eat fish, right? That's really the key. And you want at least 3 servings a week, but it also has to be the right fish. Now, you might have heard of what's called the smash fish. These are small cold water fish that are high in omega-3 and low in mercury. So not the tuna that might be your go-to whenever you get sushi. Instead, the smash fish are sardines, mackerel, anchovies, salmon, and herring. Now, I absolutely love fish tacos, but the cod, mahi-mahi, or tilapia served at most restaurants aren't as high as the fish I just mentioned. So I've tried to incorporate more salmon into my regular schedule. I get smoked salmon in the morning, and I try for baked salmon a couple times a week for dinner. But there's undoubtedly weeks when I might not get enough, the same as most of Americans. So if you're not that into seafood or you don't eat fish that frequently, you can also try to find omega-3 from some plants. Hemp seeds, flax seeds, and walnuts are some great sources. But there's a catch. Unlike seafood, this is actually ALA, which needs to be converted into DHA and EPA. And we typically only convert 15% of ALA into DHA. So you're not getting as much omega-3 as you might think. Now, you can request omega-3 to be included as a nutrient on your blood panel. And if you do, you want to make sure you're getting a minimum of 3.2% DHA and EPA in your blood. So why is omega-3 also getting so much press right now? It's not just these benefits. It's also that we're low in omega-3 and too high in omega-6. Now, I know this can be confusing, but these are 2 different types of fats. And ideally, we want them to be close to a ratio of 1-to-1, just as much omega-3 as omega-6. About 100 years ago, this ratio was 3-to-1, omega-6 to omega-3. But today, that number is 20-to-1, and sometimes even higher. And it's because all the junk food and processed oils have so much omega-6 in them. And that's crushing our health and our inflammation. So to make sure you're getting more omega-3 to offset this ratio and set yourselves up for optimal health. And when you get those supplements, let's make sure that you're getting great brands. I personally use Nordic Naturals, but there's other brands that, if you do your research, are truly vetted with great sources of sustainable fish. That's all for today's podcast, everyone. Thanks so much for listening. Have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you back here next Monday. While we strive to provide informative and inspiring content, the information shared in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice. Always consult with your healthcare provider for any personal health concerns or before starting a new health regimen.